start the class quite soon. It should be week 2. Don't worry about it because I haven't changed the slide. The only issue is it's a bit small. Is it possible to view full screen? Is it here? Oh, some cannot. Is it better this way? Okay. Right. I think these are from previous lecture. I try to go to this week. But you have done this, for the last week. Any question if you want to ask? Why you always sit at the back in the dark? Sure. You need a plug. That's why I should stay in the middle, right? Very funny, I don't want to use mic, so I stay in the middle, So I can also watch what you are doing now. Question. Don't know how to teach, Let me see one. Now it goes by itself, Sorry, I clicked too many times, That's the issue. Anyhow, when the messy things got done, then you should be able to see lah. Okay. Now I try to click through the slides, I don't know why it keep going backward though. Somebody control the slide, is it? Don't control the slide. I don't know who can control it. But don't control it. Okay. That's why I can't go to my slide. I don't control it. Okay. Just don't do anything. Just watch. I think somebody is controlling it. I think. The finger don't be too naughty lah. Okay. Okay. I believe so lah, because this one is not interactive, not interactive feature, so therefore you can also click on it. Okay, it's not an interactive one. The one online, I don't know whether you can see or not. Because using handphone is not the best way lah. But then you can record my voice. Yeah. I think we had done this one last week about the granny, and the children's. All are source of infections. Okay. I think you all stop disturbing the start already. I can proceed. I think the issue is animations. If you want to present using a handphone, make sure there's no animation. Okay. So sorry for this. If I need to really prepare this one, I need to be here 1 hour earlier. Okay. But again, please don't disturb the slide if you can. I don't know whether you can or not, but don't disturb the slides. I don't know why it keep go left and front. Microsoft Teams, Microsoft. Okay, I think we should proceed, huh? Yeah. Okay. Stand somewhere in the middle, huh? Because there are some sitting there, huh? I don't like to use the mic, huh? So week 2, of course, we before this, you have to know that week 1 topics, lecture topics, what I call that, infection things, agents of infection or something, disease transmission, by now you also read that one already, yeah. If you haven't done so, please start reading, though. Okay. And today I'm going to talk about topic 2, notifiable disease. Then we revisit a bit of prevalence from last week. Then we talk about incidents. And then we have outbreak investigations. Okay. That's all for this week now. Okay. No class this Thursday. For today's class, I will actually record based on your attendance. And for Thursday, normally the record attendance is based on your activity in Canvas. At least you must have 1 hour or 1 minute or 1 second log on. That is considered present for this entire week. Okay, this entire week should be from Monday to Sunday Yeah. If somebody is absent for the whole week, then it's considered absence for the Thursday class. And if there's an assignment, like for this week, assignment A2, right? For those who have submitted, then it's considered present. For those that did not submit, it's considered absence. Okay. In the instance that there is no assignment, then I will use the Canvas activity. That is for Thursday attendance record. Okay. Okay. There are 2 things, notifiable disease, and there's also another thing called emerging disease. I think you must have heard of these 2 already. It's kind of popular. Notifiable has the implication of the law. It was actually spelled out in the law of the country that you need to notify. Okay. Notify means informing the governments from the individual medical doctor, informing all the way up to the Ministry of Health, something like that. That is called notifications. There's for new disease, normally the medical doctor may have to pick up the phone and make a phone call to the Ministry of Health. Okay, and these are actually stated in the Victorian law. Malaysian law, I think the medical doctor don't want to report. You just refer to the general hospital until all the way to the end, and then suddenly the general hospital got a lot of funny disease. Okay, yeah. I think this is not only Malaysia, all the underdeveloped country all like that. Because they all worry, right? Get punished, right, by the authority. Yeah. But in the Western country, of course, like Australia, the individual medical doctor will take the responsibility to pick up the phone and call the Ministry of Health. Okay. If there's a disease is listed as Group A, considered urgent. For example, anthrax. Why is it so urgent for anthrax? Because there's it's not a vaccine preventable disease. Okay. If somebody got infected, chances of death or serious infection will be very high, and usually also because it's contagious. Yeah. So notifiable is by law. Emerging is more like based on science. It's like some disease that just appear out of nowhere is considered emerging. For example, COVID-19 is considered emerging 2 years ago, but now it's considered notifiable but no longer emerging. Okay. COVID-19 may die off after a while, right? It's no longer having a lot of cases. 10 years later on, it came out again, different variants. Then it's called re-emerging. Okay. Those are the things that sometimes appear in the news also. Because disease is very popular. Okay. It's also a very good market in a way. People who are on disease, easier to find a job. Okay. Yep. Okay. This is what I try to say. Victorians, maybe you are aware why there's not Australia, right? Because it's Australia is a confederation. Every other state like Victoria is as big as the government by itself. Okay. So they set out their own law. Not sure about their neighbor like New South Wales and all this. Were they having similar law? I believe they harmonize it now. Even though they're all Victorian, New South Wales or wherever, the law may read a little bit similar or even identical, right? So in the law, it's specified very clearly. You see, they actually emphasizing a lot of people working in the lab, pathology service laboratory is one of the department of person that should notify about any disease, particularly new disease like COVID-19, and also of course medical practitioner, the doctors. Here in Malaysia, I think people work in the lab, nobody know lah. It's nobody actually. Only the doctor, yes, somebody, yeah. Okay, yeah. Again, another typical arrangement for an underdeveloped country. Okay, yeah, for the underdeveloped country, you have similar scenario. Okay, doctor is very much prioritized, and also very good profile to become a politician as well. Okay, joking a bit lah. But this is a common thing that appear in all the underdeveloped countries. Okay. Then there's also things like private health and well-being regulations. Normally, the regulation comes after the act. Okay, regulation actually explain more about the act, particularly on the procedures like who should not do what. The act basically say who has the power. So similar arrangement is for Malaysia as well. Okay. So we are all Commonwealth countries, right? If you go to USA, don't be surprised their law also has some similarities. We are also former UK colony, USA, right? Yeah. So if you go to the most recent this Victorian website, you can actually see this. So I'm not talking rubbish here. Actually telling you something that is totally applicable and totally true. You can actually go to the website now. Is I think they what they call that, improve the web page. Now it's more friendly and also quite confusing sometimes. Last time we used to be able to find a PDF file for all the list of the disease. Now it's very difficult. Now it's more like drop down menu. You can see anthrax there. Drop down menu is urgent. Urgent. Arbovirus something routine. Okay. And then routine, urgent. Botulinum, yes, serious food poisoning. Brucellosis, routine. Everywhere you can find routine. So urgent one normally is in group A group A, whereby the routine is either group B, C, or D. Okay. Actually, if you look at this web page, you check for COVID-19, it's considered routine. But you check for SARS, which is a sister virus for COVID-19, SARS is considered urgent. Okay. So this again to show you in the Australia, medical practitioner and the lab are equally important. The only two authority actually being given the power to notify. Not you not you and you. You are not qualified to notify. So if you're in Australia, you wanted to notify that some disease that you think that is true, I don't think you can. Nobody will entertain you. You have to inform a medical practitioner or a lab. Yeah. In your assignment later on, assignment B, or say assignment B, activity B, can't remember, the outbreak investigations, then you will come across this thing because that article was published in New South Wales, Australia. It's just a neighboring state for Victoria. So they are having the same arrangements. That's why I said they harmonize their law. Okay. If you actually look for this, you can actually read for those who maybe once in a lifetime you wanted to be a lawyer, right? But somehow ended up here. You can read okay. Yeah, law is very interesting to read, but you must have time You sit there quietly and read law. Okay. Yeah. The people who read law, they are sometimes kind of smart then they know a little bit extra. No harm to read. The law was actually written for everybody to read. That's why they pass it in the parliament, right? It's for everybody to read. Okay. Joking. You don't mind a bit. A lot this thing Actually, if you think that this is not familiar, then you haven't read any laws before. Try to pick up one to read. Especially the occupational safety and health. That one is very interesting. I read the whole lot including the act regulations and guidelines, everything. Yeah. Okay. It's being mentioned there. Again, there's not bluffing no bluffing. It's all stated in the law. Okay. Yeah. Okay, the three things. Okay. Rest again skip lah. Why notify? I think this one makes sense lah. Some disease that is some sort of outbreak is coming lah. Outbreak is something like epidemics. Some new disease came out of nowhere. Okay. And then they have to study the prevalence. That's what we are doing last week as well, right? To introduce the thing called prevalence. And then after that, we have the prevalence. Then of course we want to try to control it. Okay. Once you put it under control, like for example, COVID-19, you want to prevent the future happening of the same COVID-19, right? We don't want it to happen again. And then now this one back to the thing about plannings, plannings, and then they all need money lah. They want Malaysia is very bad because always money disappear. Then no more planning. Next time got disease outbreak again, panic again, that one lah. A typical example lah. Okay. So this is again a listing lah, notifiable infectious disease based on the Victorian this act, right? So it's group A, B, C, and D, right? As you can see there, group A is considered urgent, I think lah. I did not actually totally check, but I believe now it's called urgent lah. I think people can understand better if you say it's urgent lah. You say this is group A, what is group A, right? It make no sense now. I also see that the Victorian web pages also changed a bit on how they actually communicate with the public, right? How they tell the public about disease. It must be something, the web page must also be friendly for people using handphone, right, or smartphone, right? Those sort of things. So these are all about communications, right? So group A is immediate notification is required, which actually means that the person has to pick up the phone and call the Department of Health Service by telephone or fax. I think fax nobody entertain, a better telephone. Okay, maybe WhatsApp or something. I don't know lah. Yeah, I don't know exactly how they operate at the ground at Victoria. Okay? But based on the law, it's like this. Here in Malaysia, I know that people don't notify lah. So let the disease spread until you reach the hospital, then okay lah, hospital know it by itself because the disease came to their doorsteps already, right? Okay. So SARS is in the list, but COVID-19 is already not in the list here. I believe it's under group 2 now. Okay. Anthrax is a lot more dangerous, it's there. The tunnel is considered less dangerous, I think. It's B. Tuberculosis, although it's very scary, can be treated by antibiotics. No, it's nothing lah. Black is something very scary, the Black Death, right? It may come back. You'll come back then, very good lah. Okay. Anyhow, not good, but very interesting lah, not good, interesting. Sexually transmitted disease has their own category called group C. And beside that, there's also group D just specifically for HIV and AIDS. Okay. So now we have the listing of the different disease like bacteria, virus, protozoa, and so on. As you can see there, you can also see that which one is in group A. For example, typhoid. Of course, this one very dangerous. Even in Malaysia, when you get typhoid, it can be life-threatening. If you get hepatitis A, I think maybe not so dangerous. So it's group B. Yeah. You get the idea, right? So now in your lecture start, sometimes you may have to study a little bit lah. Okay. Even though the exam is open book, but you still have to know that, typically a disease, right? It was being described what is causing that causative agents, what caused the disease. HAV means hepatitis A virus, HEV means hepatitis E virus. So sorry to use the short form, sometimes I forgot. Yeah, but people who are in the disease, they normally use short form and they know immediately. Okay. Then actually these are the two different viruses, but I don't know why they are together. It's not really ideal, but the slide given to me is like this. They are totally different family of virus. The reason why they are together because they both cause inflammation for the liver. Okay, right? Yeah. And then you can see the clinical features. Like somebody is coughing now. Coughing is considered clinical features. Unless it's cough for fun, then maybe not really a clinical features. But coughing because of the reflex. Coughing reflex then is considered clinical features. And you all know like COVID-19 has special sound, right? When you cough, the cough sound a little bit different, right? COVID-19 coughing sound, right? Don't say you don't know. You know, huh? Yeah, you roughly know, right? Slightly thick, right? The mucus, it's like, I want to die like that. That one is COVID-19. Huh? Yeah. There are some sort of cough that is so-called non-productive, only coughing out air. That one is not COVID-19, right? You know, right? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, these are something we call clinical features. Actually, useful for diagnostic. Don't say medical doctor they don't use it. Also, they do. They are human beings as well. Okay. Last time there's one special type of cough called whooping cough. Disease is called whooping cough as well. Okay. Whooping cough. I think it's not so dangerous now, but it was. All these major diseases are used to be also very scary and kill a lot of people. Ended up in the vaccination list. Okay, so pity for those diseases. All start off in a very grand way, but eventually become just a list. Yeah. Anyhow, probably health significance, reservoir. Sometimes it's humans. Like this one, humans only. So if you cough to a dog, the dog won't cough you back lah. Okay, it's just between humans. Okay, humans only. Yeah. It's very hard to get diseases only humans nowadays. Nowadays a lot of disease like COVID-19, humans bats all these creatures all together with humans. Okay, now these are the new trend. Previously human disease are strictly for humans only. Okay? Then after that, of course, mode of transmission. These are a few things that you must remember. If last time you used to have a written exam, then you have to remember at least these points. But now it's online test. Just make sure you still follow this. You don't go and Google and copy and paste all sort of things for me. If you paste something that is wrong, I keep minus the marks out until there's zero left. That's what I'll do. Okay. Arthropod-borne disease or arbo disease, arthropod-borne. I think you all know more. No dengue lah. Dengue is group B. Australia also group B. They have it in Australia as well. Okay. Yellow fever is a bit more dangerous. Yellow fever is always in Africa or South America. If you get yellow fever in this Malaysia or Australia, it's considered very dangerous. You want to start a yellow fever, can you go to Africa, bitten by a lot of mosquito, and then start spreading the mosquito here? I don't know Malaysian law whether can actually catch you and put you as a crime, penal code we call it. Sit in the jail for quite a number of years. But then you start off yellow fever population in Malaysia. Sorry, I should not say all these are crazy things. These are so-called bioterrorism. Yeah. Okay. JE is also very dangerous here for foreigner. Sometimes you may need to know about the disease that present in Sarawak. Okay. Yeah. Because we do have quite a lot of disease here that can be quite risky for foreigner. So you don't have the, even here in Kuching, right? If you travel to the countryside, sometimes you may get some serious food poisoning because their salmonella there are slightly different from the one in Kuching. Yeah. Anyhow, don't worry. You start worrying, then you have to close yourself down in your own room. Don't go out, then you don't get disease. But disease can also come in through the aircon, right? All the ducting. Yeah, but basically there's no escape. Same thing about this, you can see malaria. I don't want to read anymore, but you can see the layout. Causative agents, clinical features, public health significance, reservoir, and mode of transmission. I think reservoir is not exactly correct. It's humans and also all the primates. Because we are talking about the Plasmodium, not bee bats anymore. Now the popular one is called Plasmodium nosai. This one. And Plasmodium nosai has another host in monkeys. Macaque, all these monkey, they have it. Okay, so this is not exactly correct. Right? But I'm not teaching medical students, right? So maybe it's okay. If you're teaching in medical school, then cannot. Yeah, it's not correct. This is again zoonotic disease, and rabies is always very dangerous. Group A, okay. Anthrax as well. Anthrax also zoonotic, is it? Yeah, I think got animal sources somewhere. Okay. Q fever we have it also. It's a very nice name. I think the disease is not so nice. I think you can spread Q fever by all these things. Okay, and also a pig. Yeah. So don't touch any animals. Don't keep any pets. It's even better. Yeah. And you see birds run away. Yeah, that is how we prevent. Okay. But Australian bats Lisa virus is a sister virus for rabies. Even though Australia they don't have rabies, but God is very kind to everybody that they create Lisa virus for them. Okay, yeah, so that they are also a handful They come to control disease, right? Yeah. Anyhow, I always tell all sort of funny thing that it's not quite helpful. Legionellosis is kind of very dangerous in Australia. In Malaysia, I don't know, nobody know or not existent at all. I don't know. If you ask a medical doctor here, they also don't know what was that. What is that? Okay, yeah. But it was very popular in Australia because, if not mistaken, they have a lot of old building. And the old building already have aircon ducting since colonial time, and they are really a good source of Legionella bacteria. Okay, yeah. But we don't have that type of situations. And we also probably don't have that type of weather as well, right? Ours is a bit hot. Maybe it's not so nice for Legionella. Okay. Meningococcal, dangerous though, this one. It's something that can infect your meninges, brain. Group A. Tuberculosis, not so, because can use antibiotics to treat. SARS, because it was once appear and disappear. So that makes SARS more dangerous than COVID-19, right? COVID-19 appear and persist as a pandemic and then being controlled using vaccine. SARS different. SARS appear for a while and then disappear. And a lot of people wasn't have that type of immunity against SARS. Okay. Influenza always dangerous, but it's not that dangerous. So group B. Something like that now. So this is a description of SARS. This type was actually, it has been existent for 10 years now. Okay, but I look at the clinical feature is very similar like COVID-19 that everybody know. You know, high fever, right? Even though COVID-19 is not actually associated with high fever. The reason why high fever is used as a tool is because they follow the SARS. Because SARS definitely got high fever, more prevalence, more common. But COVID-19 sometimes got, sometimes don't have, depends on people. Yeah. Diarrhea sometimes happen. Even for COVID-19, some people don't get high fever, but they get a lot of diarrhea. And then, of course, can develop into the infection for lung, pneumonia, and respiratory distress, oxygen desaturation. Even this one SARS got. This is typically the COVID-19 scenario exactly the same. Okay, so technical term for COVID-19 virus is called SARS-CoV-2. This one is SARS-CoV. SARS-CoV-2 is COVID-19. Okay, yeah. Your slide has COVID-19, but not this one. I simplified. Okay. Because if I start talking, it becomes very boring, right? Sexually transmitted infection. This one only when I have this exam with sexually transmitted, people always score lah. Don't know why. Okay. It seems to know all the difficult names. Yeah. But you see, hepatitis B is also considered sexually transmitted, right? People may not know this. So when somebody getting hepatitis B, right, detected, right, doctor usually also check for HIV, and high chance they also is positive for HIV because they got these two together. Okay. But of course, some people got hepatitis B but not HIV. Your generation, because you're from Malaysian, right? Your mother has already been vaccinated. May or may not be, like for me, example, I haven't been vaccinated for hepatitis B, I believe. So if my generation producing the babies, right? If my generation is infected, then the next generation can be infected by hepatitis B. But Malaysian, they have started hepatitis B vaccinations since I think 1980s. And then that prevent the transmission for hepatitis B from the previous generations. So for your generations to be quite safe. Should be quite safe. If you think that you are not safe, go and do the testing. Just have to pay, but normally it's quite okay. Hepatitis B, the danger is that it can cause liver cancer, but it will not immediately kill anybody lah. Okay? Until today, people don't really understand why we need to vaccinate for hepatitis B. Some people believe it's because of profit. The vaccine company want to sell their new technology because hepatitis B is among the first vaccine to be produced using a BL vaccine-like particle, BLP. BLP technology, okay, used to be considered a new technology. You can also call this recombinant technology, okay, cloning, cloning DNA, cloning, those sort of things. It was among the first vaccine to be produced that way, and the company trying very hard to push it to the market. Same like COVID-19, right? They test so many new technology, RNA technology, what else? A few, they test it all go because there are a lot of human sample to test, right? That's why you get all sorts of different type of vaccine, and some people die. And the vaccine company don't really have to be responsible for it also. So there's a beauty about the COVID-19 lah. For vaccine company, then they really make use of that opportunities to test all their new technology. Okay? Because it's very hard to do a vaccine trial. Even until today, vaccine trial for dengue, it wasn't successful. And every time got some side effect, people start questioning, and then the trial stopped. So this hepatitis B, again, you can see the layout, right? This is how you need to know. The causative agents, the clinical feature, and so on, always the same. Reservoir, I think this one's strictly human only. Okay. Last one, screw exclusion. I think remember sometime last time you school, right? Somebody got chicken pox, then no need to go to school, right? Same thing in Australia. This one they call it exclusion list for school lah. So if somebody don't want to go to school, get a chicken pox, then no need to go to school. Okay, or get something that is scary lah, that contagious, skin disease, can lah. Now moving on to the next phase, you all need a break, you all can have a break lah, You all know how to take care, good care of yourself. Because it's recorded anyway, I proceed, Just a bit of revision again, descriptive epidemiology, you talk about who, what, when, where, and not how, because how is analytical epidemiology, right? This side there's no how there. Yeah. How is the other one lah? Okay. But descriptive, you describe things means who, what, when, and where. Don't never say how. Okay. Yeah. If you are describe something, don't say how. Unless you are being asked to explain, right? Then you answer on the how aspect of things. Person or who get infected, Okay. Where, is it in Melbourne? Melbourne maybe big story lah. Kuching, nobody care. Okay. Time, Christmas time, of course, serious lah. Normal time, no lah, no, don't care as well. Sometimes it's all political, right? Yeah. And human value also different from country to country, right? For some country, the human is almost zero value. Disappear, never mind. Okay. What? Okay. Right. This is about what? What got how much? Some of them don't bother. Some may be wrong. Just important thing about is the case, incidence prevalence, right? This is what we are talking about until today, right? Talk about all this. We have already completed prevalence. Just to recap again on prevalence, right? We have already done the activities, and last time I forgot to set the correct answer off. That's why you can see the correct answer. But this one today one, no more. Cannot see the correct answer anymore. Yeah, because the previous one I forgot to reset it, so you can see the correct answer, right? For those who get a lot of marks, okay, this is considered bonus. For those who get a little bit less, I think it's your own issues. It's considered something that is not so difficult, right? To be honest, it's quite easy. We can say that it's easy, right? But if you make any mistake in the decimal place or even calculate wrongly, I think blame yourself. I have to say, okay. Remember, try not to commit the same mistake again. You have to regain the marks back. Some people who lost marks, maybe only 2 marks only, but you want to gain back, then make sure the next activity you do it properly. I think this is a good showcase on the difference between prevalence and incidence. Prevalence normally say what you can see lah, what you see. Like now, I see in the class how many people, I count how many got infected. That's prevalence lah. But incident, you need to take care of who is coming in and who is going out, you know, who actually die, things like that. So a lot more difficult to track. Okay. And in terms of time, a period of time like this, there's prevalence. So you count how many. Let's say if you got 7, there's 7 7 prevalence is 7 over how many people, right? But incident, you need to also check in how much time they spend infected. Yeah, how much time they spend as well. So of course you know, the beauty of mathematics there's a way to actually calculate it properly. Later I'll show you. Actually, there are many types of prevalence, but in terms of not to confuse the student, I only talk about point prevalence, which is equal to prevalence. But there's also something called periods prevalence, which is a little bit similar like incidence. Okay, sometimes they are almost the same. That's why I don't want to cover it to avoid any confusions. Okay, yeah. I think we all have learned this already lah. Sometimes decimal place 0.1 is okay lah. 0.01 does not make sense anymore lah. 0.01 or even 0.000 something. I think you can only tolerate 0 point something lah, right? Beyond that, people cannot really track lah, or cannot make any sense. So I already mentioned this one last round, but unfortunately, some students still commit to this. But only a few lah, only a few. Very, very big improvement from last year. Last year student was they did a lot of wrong calculation. I don't know why. Calculate also wrong. At least the figure today, this time is almost all correct lah, right? Except for some careless mistake. But last year, I don't know why they calculate wrongly. And then look miserable also. Okay. Now moving on, incidence rate. Some winter terms are not need to be too serious. Yeah. So it's a number of new case. Okay. Incidence mean new, right? Even if you use the term, it's a common way. Is there any incidents lately? It means something new, right? Incidents. It means new, right? Even for English, you know, it's something new. Okay. So it's a new case in a specific period of time as well. Specific period of time. And sometimes it's a synonym to attack rate. In the outbreak investigation, there's a thing they ask is about attack rate. Attack rate is incident rate. Okay. Then over number of person at risk. Okay, during that period. Person at risk. Person who are at risk. Okay, not any person, but person at risk. Meaning that the person must be in the same surrounding that's why they create that terms Okay, yeah. Okay, then there's other things that you got to know a little bit, like high incidence, low incidence, and all this I need to know how to calculate At least it's a very basic one, right? Because I know some students here, many are engineering, computer science. That's why a little bit of mathematics is good for everybody. But I know biotech students may not like mathematics at all, right? But still need to know a little bit Need to learn a little bit. If you don't know how to calculate incidence, during the time people haven't invented this technique, it's very hard to calculate. Actually, for example, let's say in this scenario you have 100 participants. They're checking them whether they have asthma or not. Then they follow through a period of time. I think this was 1 year. I think. Like here, 1 year, we keep everybody here, 100 people, keep them for 1 year, still see who start develop asthma first. Then they check. Beginning in January, January already got asthma. First participant. What is it? I confuse myself. You see, sometimes information like this is very confusing. That's why we do mathematics. After 1 year, okay, 1 year, 5 participants have developed asthma during that period of 1 year. Okay, meaning that 95 never have asthma, only 5 has asthma. And among these 5%, right, who got asthma, and the March, just March. Normally I won't say end of March, so you know whether it's beginning or the end. Just say it's March. In the 3rd month already got 2 get diagnosed. Okay, and then 2 more get diagnosed for asthma in August, the month of 8. Okay, And then the last one, also wanted to get asthma in the end of November. Okay. Some got it earlier, some got it late. Do you think the one that got it earlier is a lot more important or the one that got it in November? How do you think? The one that diagnosed in March, is it the data significant, like 2%? 2% in March, is it more important, or 1%, one only, but got it in November? Which one do you think that is more important? It's very hard to say, right? That's why you need mathematics to calculate. You got it earlier, the one that got it in March maybe recover already right after March, right? So from April onwards, it's considered, if asthma is a disease, it recover means that never get infected, right? So from January to March, got this 2% got asthma. But after that, January to March, after that, from April onwards, that one become no longer get infected. The one that got infected, diagnosed in November, right? Maybe already infected since January, So January, February, March, April, May, infected all the while, right? Until November. Okay, you understand the magnitude of the issues, right? So sometimes you detect it late in the year, it does not mean that it's good, even though it's only one case. But if you calculate that it was for 11 months, that becomes something that is more significant. That's why we need mathematics to calculate, right? Talking is rubbish, right? Mathematics is powerful. Okay, does not move. See? So that's how we say 95%, right? This one, when you do your assignment, this coming one, be careful. First thing you need to be careful is that was a question asking you about prevalence or incidence. Because they ask both now, they ask you both things, either prevalence or incidence. So you must be careful with the questions. If they ask incident, if they ask prevalence, don't answer incidence, they get 0 marks, okay? Only when they ask incident, you calculate incidence now. And then remember to deduct now. You need to deduct. Because you know that only 5 got diagnosed with asthma. So only 95 are actually healthy, right? They have been healthy for the period of 1 year, 12 months. So 95 times 12 months give you 1,140. That's also I mentioned about 2 patients, right? Got the infection diagnosed in March. So the 2% times 3 give you the number of 6. Another 2% got infected in the August, right? So 2 times 8 give you 16. And just like I mentioned about the 1% they got infected in November, right? Even though it's only 1, but you times 11, it becomes 11 here. So it's a lot more higher than the one gotten in the March. That's why I said the one they got in November sometimes is considered significant in that sense. Total all the numbers up, then they'll give you person at risk or person months. Person at risk also can okay. But technically the terms will be called person months. But if you say person at risk, I can accept it as well. Okay. Except you cannot say it's person anymore because it's already being magnified, or is it magnified? Multiply, sorry. People and maths. Multiply, with this multiply, right? Yeah. Okay. You multiply the person with months by the time, right? So person multiply with the time. So the new unit created is called person months. Okay. So calculate incidence rate. You have 5 cases over the whole year divided by 1173. This one gives you 0.0043. So you can say 43 cases per 1,000 person month. They are not so nice. Actually, 10,000 is very odd. It's better use 1,000, 4.3. If you can, 4.3 cases per 1,000 people, 1,000 person month, it makes more sense. 10,000 to me is a bit odd. But I can consider correct. Okay. Yeah, it's just a bit odd. Yeah. 10,000, 100,000, very odd. But you say 1 million, that's fine. It's just a common sense. 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 is a bit funny. Okay. But can be considered correct. Not so tough. The one that is wrong is 0.0043. You give me answer like this, I consider you already done the work out. You haven't given me the answer. It's not considered an answer. Okay. So don't do it. If you do like only here is only getting a C grade cannot be distinctions. Yeah. Okay. So these are for the animal side lah, just to cover a little bit in our, yes, first learn about epidemiology from my animal side because I'm veterinarian lah. And also this topic also is one of my favorite lah. Because the lecturer is one of my favorite lah. Not because of the topic, more like lecturer related lah. But can do a little bit of mathematics one in a while is nice, okay? And we also use it to calculate. But this one I don't want to talk so much. You can actually read about this yourself. Okay. So now we talk about incidence rate. We normally refer to as attack rate. It's the same. Yeah. And there's another thing called secondary attack rate. We don't talk about this now. It's very confusing. It means that the people that get infected second round by the first group. So it's becoming very, very confusing. So we don't think we need to cover so much. We are not actually need to be an expert in disease, right? We don't have to. We just need to know a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So moving on, EP curve. I mentioned this to medical doctor. They don't know what is this. I remember during my time in uni, also we don't talk about this. And this one could be something that is new, either new or maybe more common in Australia. Normally have a few types. But in the EP curve, we can actually look at all these things. Okay, this one is a typical dengue fever coming on and off. Every time after rain, then got coming up. This one dry season, rain come out again. This one is a outbreak, typical outbreak. It came. Forget about this outlier. This one maybe somebody got himself infected for fun, I think, a long time ago. Before somebody else get infected, he got infected first. This one is the outlier. Don't bother this. So you only check this. It was started somewhere and start spreading. And then it got being controlled either naturally or by humans. Movement control or quarantine, whatever, or vaccination or treatment, whatever. Then it started to die off. So these are typical outbreak. Actually, COVID-19 also like this, but it covered a few years time. It's a very long period. Okay, COVID-19 was like this, but it spent over 2 years or 3 years, right? Okay. You can actually check back the COVID-19, what you call it, infection, a lot of all these EP curve that you can actually check. Okay. So this is something called a point source outbreak. Okay. It was started off at one point, not multiple point, but only one single point. Okay. Continuous exposure. After the first point got reinfected somewhere. And this one you can also use it for COVID-19, meaning that then in China, what I like to say is 境外输入 from outside. If you read Chinese news, they always blame the COVID-19 from outside. I say 境外输入, whatever. So you always have some outside coming in, then the curve never died down. That's why the China try to explain their COVID-19 why it persists so long, right? The reason is very simple. They don't vaccinate the people, but of course, it's up to the China. It's very difficult, very political, right? Yeah. Okay. But anyhow, I tell you, science always prevail in the end. You twist around the word, no use. Okay. Intermediate exposures. Okay. Example, dengue fever. And the other thing, for those who are good in mathematics, up to you. You want to do your assignment, you want to pick this topic, then it's fine. I think you can find some software somewhere, and then you can start plotting your own map. I believe it's available. And this is something called the one is called a spot map. The next one is called choreoplate map, which is a nice color one. It's called choreoplate map. I don't mind students doing assignment, something like this, up to them. But as long as no copy from somewhere, it has to be original. Now analytical, this one answer the question how, right? Just now we already have descriptive, which asks the thing about what, who, where, except how. This is how, how the disease happened. You want to answer the question how, you need to do a little bit of analysis. You may wonder, actually this one is kind of compulsory to have a hypothesis now. Okay, hypothesis. But for COVID-19, it was confirmed. It wasn't 100% sure it's from Wuhan lab. Okay, and we are not actually sure where it comes from. But however, the research that done in the Wuhan lab has the possibility of generate that virus. You can read the report, very, very interesting. It did not say that it's from Wuhan lab, but however, the thing that people did in Wuhan lab, it's possible to generate this virus, something like that. It's a very neutral and yet very, very catchy. The way they write it in the language is so nice. Yeah, you should read a little bit of this thing, how people give an answer. That means something without having the accusing anybody for anything. Okay. Nobody require lab test lab test. You need a design as well. Okay. A few cohort, case control, cross-sectional analysis. Sometimes it may came across this type of terms even in newspaper. So it's actually do you no harm to know a little bit about disease. Okay? Normally exposure, the outcome is the two things, two main things. And there's also thing about case definitions. Okay. I think in your assignment, outbreak investigation, some may get the question to answer about case definitions. Okay. Example, about egg salad and church picnic, something like this. And then the exposure is eating egg salad, and the outcome is salmonella, something like that. Experimental, observational, just for knowledge. Blindfold study a bit difficult to do. Who want to get infected by disease, right? And then being blindfolded some more. Nobody want to do it, right? So normally what people do is cross-sectional study, cohort study, case control study, looking at the cases that already happened and check back the history, something called observational. Randomized control trial, just to show you, these are not worry so much. No question will be asked, just to show you a little bit. New treatment, control treatment, just like I mentioned about outcome, right? Outcome. But this type of trial difficult. You just imagine who want to get infected by COVID-19, and then what people see the outcome, whether they not sick or die or something. Nobody want, right? But last time they used to have bioterrorism in Manchuria, China, right? The Japanese used a Chinese subject to test for all sorts of infectious disease. And when the war was won by the Allied force, I think either the Russia or the American quickly take away all the records, bring back the USA or Russia. So the record is very high value. It's still being kept somewhere in Russia or USA. So these are the value of control trial. So the bioterrorism is always there. No? A lot of countries deny they are doing it. Actually, they do. They keep the record. Maybe one time all the humans die, then they know. Okay. So there's nobody can actually be sure 100% sure COVID-19 wasn't being synthesized somewhere, right? Just cannot be sure, cross-sectional, just to info, it's again different scenario. You can read the notes. I don't think I have to repeat this. This one is going back in time. For population, it traces back. So who is infected, who is not? Then you check back the history, whether when are they being exposed and when. There's something called a case control study. All these are very popular one. You came across this. Okay? Now you understand, right, what it means. Okay. So these are strongest, of course, is a double blindfolded. double blind test is always good. Nobody know what. Yeah? Single blind, and then of course the less useful one is this one. Okay. Now moving on, outbreak investigation. Okay. Yeah. So outbreak investigation basically got three parts. Lab, epidemiological, and environment. Lab means the testing in the lab. Epidemiology means usually means the mathematics. Things that you don't really test, but you assume based on mathematics, design, readings, all this. Environment means actually environment means everywhere. Even inside this room is called environment. So it doesn't mean that outside the building somewhere in the bush somewhere. No, environment means even here is environmental. Okay. This one I go a bit faster lah. This one was an example, but it happened long time ago, and then there wasn't any story that given to you, so you may not find this interesting lah. So I go fast. Example given here is Salmonella typhimurium, 104 STM 104 strain that causing actually outbreak in Australia in long time ago lah, year 2001. And then during that time, they use it as a example for descriptive epidemiology hypothesis, and also the notifications, when was it being notified, Okay. And then sources, the sources, whether it's from yogurt, soft cheese, or distributed eggs, which is a product. Okay. And it was actually causing national alert somewhere in year 2001. You can read back this history if you want to. I think it was still be available on internet. Okay, cases, 21 cases. And eventually they found out that the sources is actually for Huba, which is a product imported from Turkey. I think it's the things that you use together when you eat Western food. Don't know what type. Okay, yeah. And then they did all these things. Oh no, sorry. This was the end. So in the class here, we have already completed prevalence, right? Activity A1. So now moving on, we want to cover incidents. Okay. And from the article outbreak investigation, you're going to cover pattern exposure, incubation period, and epidemiology, EP curve, and so on. A lot more. Okay. So after completing activity 1A and B, you are more or less being introduced to this topic already called epidemiology investigations. Okay. Just look back at the schedule again. We are more on time now. I've already completed marking for activity A1 Okay. But for the activity A2B marking, maybe a bit not so fast because the marking task become a lot more heavier. Yeah. But anyhow, I try to keep track on the marking as soon as possible, and then you all try to also make sure you have completed the activity every week. Good news is that next week not much activities. Okay, right. Is it good news or bad news? I don't know. You all like activity, is it? Week 2 all already been posted. Okay. Yeah. Pretty small, but you all can check on your own screen. How come blur again some more? Okay. So the question, it was also posted as a question format, which is very similar to your activity A1, but now it's activity A2. Okay. Example of calculation already been given there. And whereas for your own assignment, right, I think if you cannot draw a table, then you at least try to make sure it's neat and tidy. The slide will be given to you later. Okay. Exactly how to calculate, I think you can read on your own. It's very small for me, even for me to read. Okay, but it's not something that is too different from the example that I showed you earlier on about asthma. It's exactly the same. Just that the disease, instead of asthma, it becomes some other disease. Okay, number change a bit, but more or less, the scope more or less the same. Okay, but in case you actually came across some question that is a little bit difficult or you find it challenging, you can always try the second attempt, right? Some students did not use the 2 attempts wisely. There are some using it wisely, they get almost full marks. So if you don't use it wisely, you only do 1, then if the one is very low marks or 0 marks, then you get 0. Okay. So the moral of the story, at least try 2. Try 2. Okay. Yeah, no harm. Actually, it's a lot increased marking burden for myself only, but it's for benefit of the students, right? I don't mind. Okay. So activity A2 is already open by now. If you want to check, you can check. I did this one last night, so it was not available at that time. But now already open, you can check. Before you try activity A2, try the tutorial first. This is a tutorial, I think. This is a tutorial, right? Tutorial first, try the tutorial first. Then you try the real activity. Okay. If you want to go ahead, try it and did not do very well, that is your own issues. Okay. Yeah. Next one, activity B is about reading this article. Articles already been posted long time ago. I think somebody may have read it already, but anyhow, you want to try to read it now, it's still in time lah. This one got 1 week to do, so no rushing. This one I give until this Friday because Thursday is public holiday, so extend until Friday. I think no delay lah. If you, after Friday you ask for reopen, late penalty 20% on upfront. Okay, still open for you, but the late penalty is there lah. Okay, no excuse lah, not to do it on time, right? Even today I have to come on time. I got excuse like that, right? Busy with assignment, not true. Winter terms there. Yeah, run out of excuse. Joking lah. Outbreak of salmonella, right? Very important. You look at the layout, right? Basically like summary. You look at the layout methods. Epidemiological investigation, right? This is something that we covered just now. Case definition, I think. Also, we have covered this. Environmental investigation, right? Again, it is something that we have covered. Okay. And then this one is laboratory. As I mentioned earlier on, you have the laboratory. Then what else? Epidemiological. The three components. It's all covered in this journal paper actually. So this is basically what people do when they discuss disease in a way. After you done through this assignment, you also know roughly how people actually describe disease. This I think is very useful for you. You never know, right? Even your data analysis, you may being asked to analyze data on disease. Yeah. And this is a bit small. How come the screen so small? It looks big on my computer. Then result, same thing, is same layout. It started off with epidemiological investigation. Then you have your, don't know what is this. And then so on. And then follow epidemiological, something. Yeah. And then there's the result, and then the ethical, you see. After that, around everything, then lab analysis, then discussion. So you look at the flow, it's exactly what we do, right? When you talk about disease, that is what we do. Okay. Yeah, somewhere there is a hypothesis as well. Why these people get salmonella, typhimurium? Was it from the kebab? Is it kebab takeaway shop? Yes, but kebab has a lot of ingredient, right? You know kebab, right? They actually have the meat stacked up in the stainless steel something, and then turn it around, right? And then slice. Technically, they don't want to overcook too much of the meat also. That's why the heat source is sideways one, right? They did not grill from the bottom, but grill at the side. Why? Because they want the heat transmission is by, how do you call that? Physics called what already? Transvection, was it transvection or something? Then the heat come from your side one, not from your bottom, on the side. So it's a tender cooking, so slow cooking. But in this case, it was not because of cooking. It was because of the ingredient of that kebab. You know, after you serve the meat, you had to put something on it, right? Either a veggie or something, a sauce, something. One of those things was infected or contaminated by salmonella. Have you ever got salmonella before? It's kind of nice diarrhea though. It lasts a few days. But here in Malaysia, nobody investigate lah. They look at you like you are diseased. Salmonella, what? Solve it yourself. Why you got doing a nice investigation like this? No way. Our is like spread until it ends by itself naturally. Yeah, that's what we do. Joking. So activity B2, same thing. You read the article, exactly the same article. This one, there are 2 questions there. There are two attempts, right? So try the 2 attempts, then you can see the 2 question example, and then the answer also given there. How to answer this? The answer you can find from the article itself and also from the lecture site. But even to find for outside, that is fine. Okay, provided that is not misleading lah. So the best source answer is still from the paper itself because it asks actually specific question from that paper, and also something relate back to your lecture slides. Okay, then you put your answer here lah, as usual. Make sure no typo error lah. All this. You have 1 week to do, okay, until next Monday, I think, because I want to get this done by next class. I think that is fair, right? Next Monday lah. Monday midnight lah. You want to do it 11 o'clock, finish at 12. Monday is fine, up to you. But start from the Tuesday, we stop lah because I also need to do the marking as far as I can, right? Okay, so make sure you have the answer. Example given lah, the answer not too long, not too short, must be relevant to that question also. And the rest of the detail you check yourself lah. It's very hard for me to explain here. Okay, these are the example. The answer also very small, but the slide printed for you, and you can also check on your own canvas. It will be much larger for you to see lah. Okay. Then the real activity B already open. And so today open already. I think now open already. Okay. So this week you have two activities lah. You have to finish the incident first, which is activity A2. Incident is closed by Friday. Okay. Activity B closed by next Monday. If anybody need extra time, tell me lah. Must be a good reason why you need more time. Otherwise, you'll be slapped with the late submission 20% upfront lah. Okay. Week 3, there's a thing called assignment 2 lah. But if you can want to have for extra time, you can start checking also. But I'll talk more about this one on next week lah. Okay. This one is very simple. Report 2,000 words. Some people always ask 2,000 words too short. I want to write more. Can lah. You write more, but maybe not like I say. Just maybe 2,000 words plus minus. Okay. Yeah. 2,000 words is enough, and so small. Huh? This is the instruction given. Reading. There are a few articles for you to read. There are some articles. It's all related to technology. It's either using the contact tracing app or engineering side. I think I got respiratory device. These are all related to COVID-19. Just an example. And for the other technology, like maybe for biotech side, something like RT-PCR and all this. These are about technology and knowledge, right? How to use it to solve the issues, a disease issue. Okay. Very small. There's an introduction and everything there. Okay. Yeah. And then you can start checking if you have time. This one is not urgent. So I'll start talking more about this one next week. Is it end already? I cannot move anymore. Finish, How come finish is stop like that one? Okay. That's all for today, Okay. Make sure you sign the attendance. Anybody have not signed attendance? Okay, I can follow in the dark, better, is it? You look at the slides, right? I think that's all for the class today, So I'll stop the voice record here. Okay, for those who are online, we have already concluded the session for this week. So I stop the recording. Any question for those